yesterday go? Where'd that? Yay! Hi, guys.
So how's Belgium treating you?
I love it. I told everyone yesterday what I did, but I spent the day in Ghent on Friday, and I literally walked for about 12 hours solid. It was awesome. It's great.
So you're finally here.
Yes.
I mentioned before it took us ages to get you, but we're very happy that you're here. We're very excited. And if anybody's got a question for Amanda, this is your chance. So raise your hands and I'll come running. Oh.
No, don't go to her first. Don't. Oh, damn. Oh. Hi. This is just awkward. Hi, Claire.
Very innocent, honestly. I lie, no. What's the difference between acting and directing?
Everything. Directing, you work harder, you get paid less, it's more stress. Yeah. No. It's almost like using two different sides of your brain in a way. Like with acting, it's a very singular job in that it's about that character and that story and your interaction with the other characters, but that's what you focus on. With directing, you are responsible for everything else. So prep, you go through all your locations, you learn where you're shooting, you schedule your shot list, you pick out your props and your costumes and your actors and and it goes on, and you're in meetings literally for 7 or 8 days, depending on how long the show shoots. And then on the floor, because I prep very diligently, it's my shot list, and then I have to work with the actors, and I have to work with the crew, and I have to make sure that the director of photography is happy, and the producers are happy, and the writers are happy. And you're really you have a million bosses when you're a director, which is so funny that they call you the director, but you answer to everybody. But in a way, you are the boss in that you're calling the shots, quite literally. And it's my responsibility as a director to make sure that we make the day, that I get the best performance, that I get interesting shots, that I don't go overtime and spend more money than I'm supposed to. And it's in our Directors Guild contract that we will make every effort not to cost the production more money. So it's heavy is the head that wears the crown. But TV is really a producer and writer's medium, because once I hand in my director's cut, the producers can do whatever they want with it. Whereas film, I feel, is more of a director's medium, because it's your vision from start to finish. Thank you, Claire. Thank you.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi.
Do you plan to do a big, huge party for the birthday of Stargate?
I think we should.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, as Jack O'Neill would say, there should be cake, in the very least. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll have to plan one and try to get everyone up for it. Yeah. At the very least, I'll bake a cake.
Hi. Last week, I saw Christopher Judge, and he told us that with Richard Dean Anderson, he always farted when you have to play on the set of Stargate 81. And I wanted to know if you did you take a revenge?
It's really hard to get revenge against Christopher Judge. It's really hard, because he's a very powerful human being in a lot of ways. No, I always had a good laugh on Stargate, and honestly, we did laugh every single day. But I was the conscientious one, which is super boring, but I grew up with 3 brothers who, got into their own level of mischief. So I was trained from birth to be the one that towed the party line and followed the rules. So I didn't often get my revenge. But karma, the karmic wheel crushes everyone eventually. So the boys, it came back to them. I didn't have to do a thing. I just waited. I had to be very patient. That's what I had to do.
Hello.
Hi.
I watched a documentary about the International Space Station, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
astronauts used to request Stargate SG-1 as their downtime. Have you ever met an astronaut?
Did they really?
Yeah. Have you ever met an
I'm
astronaut
totally geeking out right now.
who watched Stargate in actual space? Apparently not.
You know what? I did know that they had Stargate at the International Space Station. I did know that. And that was later on in our run of the show. And I know that Stargate is watched by, am I really loud? Feels really loud. Is watched by Armed Forces Television in various deployments overseas. But yeah, I've never met an astronaut. That's not true. I met Buzz Aldrin. He was probably one of the most famous astronauts, so yes. But he didn't watch Stargate in space because he's old, right? So I met Buzz Aldrin, and that was quite a buzz, I have to say. Oh. Kevin Costner, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Costner. He hates me. If you don't hear from me after this trip, he's the man who's driving me to the airport. So just get pictures. I know you do.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
If they were to bring back Stargate, like you did with the X-Files, for like a 6-episode
Yes.
thing,
Oh, sorry. What's your question?
Where do you think the characters would be? Where would they be? Where would they still be working at the base, or where would they, be?
Yeah, I mean, we're not that old, most of us, so I would not be on the base. Was it Universe, where I was in command of my own ship, the General Hammond, which I loved that they named my ship the General Hammond. In fact, I cried when I walked into wardrobe. Total geek, but that's okay. I think Carter would be in charge of the entire Stargate program. I do. I think she would be full bird colonel, which she was by the end, and that she would be running the program. And kind of like she would be the General Hammond. And then when she went home, O'Neill would have made her dinner. I don't know. Girl can dream. Of course, we'd be having fish every night, but anyway.
Hi, Amanda. I have a question.
Hi, sir. Oh, hi.
I have a question. I read that you directed the 10th episode of Travelers. Is that correct?
I did.
And I'm really a fan of the show. I love it.
I love it too.
Yes. I was wondering if you can give some insights on the second season and how many episodes you're directing.
I start on Tuesday when I go back, and I'm directing 4 episodes. No, I can't tell you anything. But I directed the finale, so the big cliffhanger. Stuff happens. I've actually read the first 4 scripts and episode 7. So I know that I'm directing. I was supposed to do 4 and 5 and 8 and 9. But for some reason I'm doing episode 7 in there. So I'm doing 4 and 7 and 8 and 9 numbered episodes. Eric McCormick is directing an episode. Andy Makita is doing 5, I think, and Will Waring, who you guys would know from Stargate, is doing 2. So I can't tell you anything except that the dynamic and what I read was, exactly the things about the show that I love were all in the new season scripts. I don't know if for those of you who haven't seen Travelers, it's Brad Wright's newest series, and it's phenomenal. Again, because it's Brad Wright, he knows how to write characters, and he wrote these really incredibly compelling characters with this great interpersonal dynamic. couched in a very interesting story about people from the future coming and trying to help us. Travelers from the future, hence the name. Go, somebody's going to be arrested.
Have you ever tried stand-up comedy? I think you'd be very good at it.
You know, I started in comedy. Did you know that? You do now. I started with a comedy troupe. 3 women. We called ourselves Random Acts, based on random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty. But anyway, we were called Random Acts. And we did sketch comedy, but our sketch comedy always had sort of a political edge, and we really thought that we were, you know, like only in your 20s can you think that you're this intellectual and pull it off. We would do sketch comedy pieces about the transformation poetry of Anne Sexton. You know, and people would be like, wow, really? We're like, yeah, it's really deep, really funny. And it was, actually, people laughed. We did pieces about, like, this book that was written in the 60s called On Becoming a Woman, and it was how a woman should act when she meets her husband at the end of his long, hard day. You know, and have a drink prepared for him and give him his slippers. And make sure the kids are quiet. And if you like a boy when you're in school, you should do things like knit him a sweater. It was just like it wrote itself. It was just fantastic. But yes, so I did, and then I was asked to, I was invited by the Comedy Store in LA to go and do a set. And they said, just come down and, you know, check us out. And I watched these comedians do stand-up, and I went, never. It's so scary. Because everything depends on whether or not people laugh at your jokes. And there was one person who I thought was pretty funny, but not, you know, And it was like you could hear crickets throughout. Like, they'd say something and be like, bloop, 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 bloop. It's like, oh. And I just thought, I can't. I'd like wet myself on stage and be terrible. Probably wouldn't do that, but.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
I wondered, you play a lot of badass women, strong women in your shows. Do you think it's typecasting, or are you actually a girly girl?
It's typecast. No, that I play strong women. Again, I grew up with 3 brothers, so I've never been a girly girl. And even if I tried to be girly girl, I always felt like a fake. So when I got my agent in Toronto, the one that I really, really wanted, this really great agent in Toronto, I said, look, I don't do bimbo really well. I'm not comfortable playing super sexy. It's just, so she's like, yeah, I can see that. And I went, okay. So yeah, it just sort of came that I was playing either really messed up women or lawyers, doctors, scientists. And I'm happy with that, because I never really felt comfortable doing that. Well, so thank you. Yeah, that's the girly part. Yeah.
And this is going to sound quite weird. If you were in Beauty and the Beast...
If I was what, sorry?
In Beauty and the Beast.
If I was in Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
Who would I be?
What?
No, sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Like what inanimate object would you be that would come to life, and why?
Well, I like tea, so I might be the teapot. And I do like candles, so I might be Lumiere. Wow, it really is a random question. And awesome. I'd be the teapot, so that I could stay warm. Because it seemed a bit chilly there. Has anyone seen the new Beauty and the Beast? You know, I never, I'm not a massive Disney princess fan, and Olivia has grown out of that stage. But we took her and her girlfriends for Liv's birthday, and they're all like 11, 12-year-old girls, and oh my gosh, they were enraptured by it. It's so beautiful, the art direction and the production design. And the acting, it was really compelling, and I'm going to admit this, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to go anywhere, because nobody's connected to any devices that I can see. But I cried when I watched Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, so I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I trust that I'm not going to read that on Twitter.
Hi, so it's also about your mini awesome rose, and I was wondering, how does it feel to be such an example to young girls or young teen?
Well, it's funny, I was asked this question yesterday, and A, it's a huge honor. B, I feel very blessed that I have been given such incredible characters to play, and I thank the writers for that. I mean, Brad Wright, and Rob Cooper and John Glasner, they created this character, Brad created Carter, and I was very fortunate to get to play her. And I was fortunate that the writers also allowed me to put my own stamp on it, and they went with it like they did with all of our characters. So I feel very fortunate, and I also feel a massive responsibility. So when something would come up that I felt was inappropriate, or that I felt sent the wrong message about my character, or that I felt like the young girls who were writing me letters were going to be confused by, then I would talk to the writers about it. So it was a big responsibility. And even though there were things that I didn't agree with that my character did, because she shouldn't be perfect, either Magnus or Carter for that matter, there's a responsibility to be real and to know that there are young people watching it, and that you're influencing them in some way. It's pretty phenomenal, and it's been a great gift to me, because when I come to events like this, and I don't do them so often anymore, but I love the stories that people come and tell me, and men and women. But especially, women who's like, I watched this with my father, or my parents and this was our Friday night, or this brought my brother and I closer together to watch this show, or I love it. So, yeah, I hope I answered your question in your circuitous way.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? I wanted to ask you about your experience on the set of Anne. It's completely different to what you've done before, so I was very excited by it.
Oh, thank you. Well, Anne is a new remake of Anne of Green Gables that was shot in PEI in Toronto. It was written by Moira Walley-Beckett, who is an Emmy-winning writer from Breaking Bad, which seems like, if you know Anne of Green Gables, this iconic Canadian orphan character from Prince Edward Island, and cooking up crystal meth doesn't. But Moira Walley-Beckett is a phenomenal writer with an incredible sensibility and a love of Anne and a love of these characters. So it's a grittier version. You see dirt under the fingernails of the people who are working there. There's no makeup. It's raw. It's shot in big, wide shots where you see the starkness of the landscape. When she interviewed me, she was like, I almost want the audience to be able to smell the farm and the work and the hardship. And so I directed the season 1 finale, and a lot happens, and it's a bit of a cliffhanger, and I loved every second of it. But I have to say, it was Amy Beth McNulty, who's this young Irish actress who plays Anne, phenomenal. British actress Geraldine James plays Marilla, and she's phenomenal. And I know I'm talking to primarily a sci-fi crowd, but if you get a chance to even see the first episode of Anne, I recommend it. It's just beautiful.